Hey, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. Drinking my tea. I believe this is Cold Comfort. And I definitely need it because I feel like hammered pooped today. And yeah, I want you to get the visual. That's why I use those words. My ankle, I overdid it yesterday. I decided to go up and down the stairs twice, and the pain kept me up. And I'm wearing my brace today, and the pain is excruciating, and I'm trying to manage it as best I can. I'm congested as all get out. Trying to manage that as best I can. So today, I'm not feeling 100, but I'm going to act it. Yesterday, I posted a video. Now we're all kind of talking about SNAP benefits because this is the last day that the government has, and they're saying that November will not have SNAP benefits. And for those of you who don't know what SNAP is, it's basically what we call food stamps. Now, I remember back in the day seeing those little booklets where you had to present the whole booklet. You couldn't present one of the coupons that was torn out of the booklet. The storekeeper had to tear that stamp out of the book. And how do I know? Because many of my neighbors were on food stamps. I grew up in the hood, y'all. And my mother made just enough money to be denied food stamps. And, you know, those food stamps could have helped. There was 3 kids. My father was one of those fathers where parenting was an option for him. You know, and most of the kids I grew up with, this was a phenomenon in the hood for us. Most of the kids I grew up with all had the same father. Now, the next generation, I can't say that was true for them, but the kids that I grew up with, yes, we all had the same father, but you're basically operating in single parent households, if you will. Both parents were present, but yeah, I guess fathering was optional for majority of folks. And, you know, just for me, and I'm going to say this term, which is a little bit dicey, but I'm going to say it anyway. To me, that's just piss poor parenting. Bottom line, you know, you give your girls daddy issues and your boys, you know, a perpetual hall pass to be a boy and not a man. Unless some kind of outside influence impacts them. You know, and, you know, one of the things I'm blessed to see is that my nephew, my brother's child, has broken that curse. He's a good provider for his kids. He does have my brother's mouth. But he's a good provider for his kids, and he's a present parent. You know, and I'm grateful to see that, you know, for the most part, that curse has been broken. And I hope his boys, he has 3 boys, I hope his boys pick up that same trait and carry the name forward with some level of decency instead of depravity. You know, but I logged on to talk about this video that I posted. And first I'm going to talk about the essence of the video, and then I'm going to talk about something else that kind of piggybacks with this, but nobody's talking about it. Okay, so this particular person that I follow on TikTok give snippets of Black history and Black news. So she decided she was going to discuss the state of Kentucky, which is primarily a red state, voted wholeheartedly for the Orange Menace, Dr. Napalm. And that state, 75% of that state receives assistance. I want to say 75. I may have the numbers reversed. I know what the 75 pertains to. I'm going to say 57% of that state receives aid. And I'm going to confirm this. I'm going to go back and look at the video. But 75% of that number is white women. And we continue. Notice I said we. News outlets, mass media, information sources continue to perpetuate the image of the Black welfare queen. And it just does not match up with Black women being the most educated population in these United States. So when we decide to go to college and get all these degrees and all these accolades and, academic kudos, and then we decide to sit home on welfare, what sense does that make? Now, I'm not knocking needing aid. We all need a hand up from time to time. But why is this stuff considered generational? Why? We want to holler we're the greatest country in the world. We want to holler about our resources, and we do have the resources, folks. But why is it that those resources aren't used to empower as opposed to oppress? Because this generational madness is a form of oppression. This generational madness is a form of, I can always count on you for a vote. I'll give you this false sense of hope. Get your vote. And then nothing changes for you. Now, I don't know if this is an accurate quote. I've heard it over and over again, though. And it's attributed to Lyndon Johnson. It says, like, if you can get the poorest white man to think he's better than somebody else, he'll empty his pockets for you. And I paraphrased the quote, but that's the gist of the quote. Now, the news that's not being reported, you got to dig sometimes. Saw another video of an African-American gentleman talking about CBS and mass layoffs of people of color. This gentleman stated that his colleagues who were Caucasian were offered relocation. And he questioned it. After he was told he was laid off, he said he came back into the office and asked his colleagues who else was laid off. And then he realized that it was just the people of color. And that the other folks were offered relocation. So he goes to one of the supervisors, and he asks, you know, do you not see a pattern here? And the supervisor told him that, you know, he chose people that he worked with before. So none of the layoffs were merit based. None of the layoffs were performance based. This was favor. Now, I'm saying this because I just saw a little news blurb that Gayle King will be moving on. Now, I'm going to research that to see how deep this goes. And I know Gayle King won't be hurting for money with friends like Oprah and Tyler Perry. You know, so I know she's got a pretty good nest egg herself, having worked all these years, so I'm not going to diminish her work in any capacity, but she also has pretty well-to-do friends who will cover her, and have for a goodly number of years. But I'm going to research that as well. So first, I'm going to get back to you on the Kentucky numbers, and then I'm going to try to find some more information on this CBS thing with Gayle King.